Okay, again, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Columbia Basin Trust, the Community Initiatives Program. And before we start with the whole procedures and the process and the presentations, I would like to call Owen Torgerson, who tonight will act as mayor, and he wants to say a few words on behalf of the village of Valemount. Thank you, Owen.
Thank you, Mr. Gislenberty. I won't take long. I just want to say a few thanks. And it's just remarkable to see you all here. The Columbia Basin Trust Community Initiatives and Affected Areas program has been in existence since 1998. It's in our 20th year. And the program supports local projects that provide additional value to Basin communities and that benefit the broad community. This year, applicants are vying for plus minus $250,000. So on behalf of the Village of Valemount, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the Trust and to its board. Tonight with us from the Trust is Miss Lori Cordell, who is the Manager of Community Facilitation and Planning. Lori, can you just give us a wave? There you are. I want to thank the members of the Valemount Adjudication Committee for your many, many hours of diligent work. So when called, just give a wave so everyone knows who you are. Chair, Donnie McLean, Melanie Chitty, Tom Jamin, Mike Johnson, Hugo Mullock, Rashbi Narayan, and Councillor Holly Blanchette. I'd like to thank all the applicants. Grant writing is no easy task, and pitching your ideas in front of your peers and community members is no less daunting. I want to thank the Toastmasters for keeping us all on time. And finally, thank all of you for being here in attendance. Your input has significant value on the overall grading of each applicant's or each proponent's application. I wish all the applicants best of luck, and I look forward to your presentations. Thank you.
Thank you again, Owen Torgerson, Acting Mayor. As Owen already said, the funds that come from the Trust to local governments are funds that really are used to address local priorities. As Owen already mentioned, this year we have over $250,000 available. The village has appointed and nominated an adjudication committee, and the committee is responsible for running the whole process. After tonight's session, the committee will again review the applications, consider the presentations, and then make recommendation to Council of the Village of Valemount. Council will review the recommendations at their meeting of, let me check, March 27th, and make a final decision at that council meeting. Once Council has made the decision, letters will be sent to all the different organizations, and will let the organizations know if their projects have been approved or not. This year we have 12 applications. The total amount requested is over $212,000. $232,000, sorry. Tonight the public here has the chance, first of all, of course, to listen to the presentations, and most importantly also ask questions to the different applicants. Voting forms are available at the doors. I guess many of you already have this kind of voting forms or sheets. This year we ask you to give your evaluations according to priorities. Number 1 is the most important project. It's your most important priority. Number 12 is the least or the last priority. The committee asked me to pass on this concern, try to give a value to all the projects, so not just kind of pick and choose maybe the first, second, and third, but please do all 12. That's really important. Committee is very strict. They say they may not approve of forms that are not complete. So please do that part. Now, the different groups and organizations will have 3 minutes for the presentation, plus 2 minutes for answering questions that have been prepared by the committee. And then there are 2 more minutes for questions from the audience, from the public here. Our Toastmasters will indicate the time, and to make sure that all the presenters are aware, there will be the green light for the first minute. 2 minutes, we said? 1 minute? Perfect. Then the yellow light for the second minute. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, there will be the red light and 1 ring of the bell, or 2, or 1 or 2, that's okay. It's better that we give him a clear signal. That's great, perfect. And then at the end, of course, 1 more bell. So after 30 seconds, you will have another bell. The adjudication committee asked me also to let the presenters know, make sure, please, that you really stop the presentation when you get the second bell. That's really important. The list here, I don't remember if it was done in alphabetical order or whatever, but tonight the presentations, they have been picked in a random way. And so I would like to call right away the Royal Canadian Legion, the Valemount branch number 266, and to give a presentation about their project.
Thanks, Silvio. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for everybody coming out tonight. So if most of you understand the Legion, our mandate in the community is to promote remembrance and support veterans. We also extend our mandate to include all seniors and anybody that requires help. So in order for us to do that, we need to run our canteen and our club. And so what we're asking for this year is to upgrade some equipment. A lot of our stuff has been purchased used in the past to get us going. So we're looking to replace our range with a somewhat more modern one. The one we have is probably as old as I am. Our chairs, we're looking to upgrade with 100 chairs that are a little more comfortable and in better condition. Some tablecloths and a couple baking racks and storage racks for the kitchen. We are somewhat constrained in where we're at, so storage is the biggest thing. So, and our kitchen provides a lot of funding for our club, bringing people in on Friday night for our Friday night dinners. Soon to be burger nights will be starting May 5th, I believe, so everybody's familiar with our world first famous burgers. And that's a big part of our financial support is through the kitchen and bringing people and families in. So that's about all I have to say at this point. Do we have any questions?
Oh, just kind of check, sorry. No questions from the committee, thank you. So if there are any questions from the public, and also for the questions, we always make sure that we try to use the microphones. There are 2 microphones here, and also we have a wireless microphone that we can pass around. Okay, if there are no questions, then thank you very much.
All right, thank you everybody. Thanks for your consideration.
Next group is YORA, and it's a project about the 5-mile recreation site development, planning, and engineering.
Hello, Joe Newsy was supposed to come up and do this presentation, but he must have got stuck at work or something, so I guess I'll have to sort of wing it. Yora is applying for $20,000 to develop an engineered site plan for the top of 5 Mile, which will include tent sites, fire pits, picnic tables, and also potentially a viewing tower. Right now, we are finding that some of the bikers are starting to camp along 5 Mile Road, which is not very good, so that was one of the reasons for wanting to develop the site up there. And we've inspected it with the Rec Sites and Trails officer, and it's all approved, and yeah, no problems in that department. I don't know, does anyone have any questions? That's about all I can.
There's first one question from the committee, and the question is this an allowable use of this area under the regulations and authority of Recreation Sites and Trails BC?
Yes, it is allowable. The area was established as a rec site around in the early 1980s, around the old viewing tower. And last summer, Sandy McKenzie did go up there and inspect it with us, and yeah, the proposed project is a go.
And then we have one question from the public. Why are we supporting a project that is in direct competition with private, I think, entertainment? Day use is acceptable, but not overnight camping.
I guess we didn't really think that we were in a conflict with a commercial campsite. The reasons are just, like I said, to have a place for not only the bike park users, but other users as well. It's, yeah, just another option out there, I guess, for people. We won't have an RV site, it's just tent sites, so yeah, just a very simple campsite.
Okay. Patricia, so you're saying there's illegal camping going on up there right now? At the time, as it is there anyone that can deal with that? Or is this, like, as I see it, that's a solution because it would become more built for camping. Whereas if it's illegal camping, like right now, is there anyone that goes up there to clear them out, or is it just?
Is that all?
Hello? Yeah, no, right now, so far, it's not a mess. We're more concerned about the environment in the future, really, To have outhouses would be, really a great thing.
I apologize, I came late, so I couldn't ask this earlier, but is this is this where you'll be charging for camping?
Yes, it will be similar to the campsites down Kinbasket Lake, where a person will come up and collect fees and clean out the garbage and, clean the outhouses. And yeah.
So you're hoping that the camping fees will pay for the management of that?
Yeah, it's actually all run through Rec Sites and Trails.
Oh, okay.
Like
so
they will,
they'll
we may have to come up with some matching funds, but basically it'll be similar to the, like I said, down the lake.
So the $20,000 is just for putting in the construction
Yes,
of it?
it's just for the site plan and the engineering of the sites.
Thank you, Patricia.
Yeah, I was quite surprised actually to hear from Sandy that each tent site is about $10,000 to develop. So it'll require, we're hoping to get about 24 campsites going, so that'll be a lot, quite a bit.
Okay. Oh. I can just go here. Yeah, perfect.
So you mentioned you won't be allowing RVs to go up there?
No, there'll be no RV sites.
Okay, and how will you be regulating that?
Signage, the fellow that goes up to collect fees, I guess, would,
Okay.
you know, tell them that this isn't,
And
and I don't
then-
even know if that many RVs would want to go up that road. I mean,
Well, like
I'm sure.
truck and campers are capable of getting up there. I'm
Yeah.
just worried about a traffic impact on that road, which is pretty restricted. Second question, what about campfires? Are you allowing campfires up there?
Yeah, there'll be fire pits.
Okay.
Yeah, similar to all the other rec sites.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next group is the Valemount Elementary School Parent Advisory Council. And it's the Circle of Security Parenting Program. So, Regina?
I'm trying to get the PAC members to come down, but they're a bit shy. So my name is Regina Bergen. I'm a Circle of Security Parenting Program facilitator. The Circle of Security Parenting Program is a course that has been taught for over 10 years, and it's taught internationally. It's based on over 50 years of research in regards to secure parent-child attachment relationships. It's an 8-week course, and it's 3 hours a week. And one international facilitator So this is what one international facilitator said after he took the course, and this is exactly what I thought. He basically said this course can change the world, and it can, because secure parent-child relationships, it brings about self-esteem. And when people have self-esteem, they grow up to be responsible adults. They know the difference between right and wrong, and the benefits of higher self-esteem goes on and on. And so I taught the course in Valemount in November and December, and one local participant said that everyone in town needs to take this course. And again, I agreed with them 100%, because it's not just about parent-child, it's every relationship, whether it's a relationship with your spouse, a relationship with your adult child, a relationship with your dog, with your employer, your employee. Everybody benefits, and so just think how awesome Valemount would be, even more awesome when everybody had better relationships. And the best part, I think, is this course is based on no blame. It's guilt-free parenting. It's not about perfect parenting, because Lord knows we have enough guilt and blame every other avenue. So one other participant said that they were surprised how simple the course is, and that's the great part of it. It's not about a whole bunch of new information. It's about the information that you know, just looking at your children differently, their behavior differently. So please vote for the Circle of Security Parenting Program applied for by the Valemount Elementary School PAC, so that we can have happier, higher self-esteem children in Valemount. And so the money goes towards, it will be totally free for all the parents. There'll be lunch and snacks provided, and free babysitting. Any questions?
No questions.
Pardon?
How many people will you be able to facilitate in the program?
28 parents. So it will be a course, if it gets approved, there'll be a morning course starting in April. April 12th, actually, and it would run for 8 weeks. And then there would also be an evening course running for 8 weeks. So that's in April and May. And then there'd also be a course in October and November, starting, I think, October 12th, running to November 30th, a morning course and an evening course. So there can be 7 parents per course, that's the maximum. And so there would be 28 sets of parents in total that could take the course based on this funding. Anybody else?
Okay, thank you, Regina.
Thank you.
Next one is the Valemount Children's Activity Society, and it's about playground rejuvenation.
Okay, very good. Dear community members, my name is Krista Voth, and this is Laura Kyle. I am the manager and preschool teacher at Valemount Children's Activity Society, and Laura is a current board member.
Valemount Children's Center is the only licensed daycare and preschool in our village. We've been open and caring for children since 1981. We strive to offer quality childcare to our families and provide a safe, fun environment for our little friends. Being a nonprofit society comes with challenges as we try to keep our fees low. We rely on grants and fundraising efforts to provide equipment, supplies, and to compensate running costs when needed.
Our current playground is in desperate need of repair. Our ladders are covered with hockey tape, and our dried out wood chips are not deep enough to fill holes. We've been doing our best to comply with licensing standards, but eventually they will request we replace the playground with new surfacing and equipment.
We've been fundraising to build a new playground for over a year now and find that we do not have the necessary funds to replace everything before licensing requests that we fix it. Our wish to build is now becoming a necessity. We are required to have a certain depth of approved surfacing in order to meet regulations.
We find that the wood chips are very dirty and are hoping to lay pea gravel in place of it to make a cleaner and more inviting space. The upkeep will be much easier and effective for the coming years. Through volunteer efforts, it was fixed up last year, but some of the repairs were meant to be temporary and may not meet regulations this coming summer. Our chain link fencing is warped and the wooden panels are coming apart from weather and age. Proper fencing ensures the safety of all the children in our care.
This playground will help accommodate the new children we'll be welcoming once our multi-age room is open and renovated as well. All these upgrades will not just provide a new and updated space for children to play, learn, and grow, but also meet the standards that we must abide by to keep our doors open and serving the community.
We have been located in the basement of the community hall for over 30 years and hope to see many, many more friends join us as our wonderful village thrives and grows. Your support will be appreciated for generations to come. Thank you for your time and consideration, and we hope to see a new playground this summer.
We have one question from the committee, and it is, are you going to put this out to public tender?
Yes, it will go out for public tender as it is the village building, and the project will go through their proposal process, which will be overseen by the village of Valemount.
Okay. Yep. Any other questions from the public? Yes. Works.
Hi. The NDP government was going to do a $10 per child per day thing. Have you heard anything about how that program's going to work? And how it'll affect everybody?
So right now, CCOF childcare operational funding, they're looking at subsidizing that so it subsidizes us. So right now, what it's looking at in the budget is they're going to offer us, they're going to give us more money so that we can lower the cost of daycare for the parents. So if we opt into the program, I think it's starting April 3rd, I think is when we can start, then we can start lowering our fees as the money comes to us through them. And then they have a 3-year plan. I'm not sure about the $10 a day. They haven't said anything about that yet, but that's their beginning start right now.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. Next one is the Housing Committee of the Village of Valemount, and the project is Affordable Housing Sites Feasibility Plan.
Good evening. My name is Corey Marshall, and this is Riette Kankel. Is that close enough? We're both members of Valemount's, the Village of Valemount's Housing Committee. And the committee was formed in 2016 to help make recommendations to the village to address housing issues. The committee consists of a diverse cross-section of community members as well as village staff and council representatives. And as a result of the committee's work and findings over the last year or so, we requested that the village provide a piece of village-owned land for a housing project. Council agreed to this in principle, and now we need to determine the suitability of available land. So the village has a map that identifies village-owned properties, and now someone needs to evaluate them, those sites, to determine suitability for housing. If we are successful in creating additional housing in Valemount, our residents will benefit. And there'll also be benefits for employers and businesses, and thus improving Valemount's economic future. To proceed, we first need to identify suitable sites for a housing project, and then design a site plan that could include other community and public buildings as well as housing. So we have the map that shows the village-owned properties that could be made available potentially. So there are the sites marked in orange. And once the site plan is complete, it will be presented to council to determine next steps. But we do hope it'll be the foundation of an affordable housing project, and that it will consider layout for potential future community and public buildings, potentially on the same lot, depending on what lot is recommended. So our budget, on behalf of the village, we are requesting $15,000 to cover the cost of a development consultant to provide the professional services needed to proceed. And the committee, along with staff, will continue to work on this project as well. And that's it. Thank you.
There are no questions from the committee. Are there any questions from the audience? Public? No? Okay. Thank you very much, Corey and Riette. Next one is Varda, Valemount Bike Park Phase 4.
Awesome, thank you. Hi, everybody. So Curtis Wallach on behalf of Varda. So we're eager to pursue another summer project, Phase 4 of the Valemount Mountain Bike Park. 2017 was a pretty amazing year for our bike park. We've met some of our goals, or all of our goals, with trail construction, another round of the highest quality trails in BC. Pretty exciting for us. We held in participation with the Beer Fest, we held the Bike Fest, which was obviously an overwhelming success for us. It has indicated the popularity and desire to have Valemount as a trail destination. One of the big surprises, thanks to some help from locals and the Youth Action Team, we had a surprise. We were able to create a new youth skills area at the base of the 5-mile trail system. Very exciting for us as well. And we were chosen as a destination to host Mountain Bike BC's 7-day giveaway, which brought a lot of recognition to our community as a mountain bike trails destination as well. We're extremely excited for the phase 4 of the project. Pardon me here. One goal with this phase, which is something that's pretty unique for us, is diversification and accessibility to our trail system. We think we've listened to the public's input as far as what we'd like to see up in that park, and we hope we're acting on it and providing what's been asked for. So phase 4, it's going to add a green beginner downhill trail from the end of the climbing trail down to one of our easier trails known as Bacon. Some of the criticism we've received for the bike park was that the climbing trail led to, there wasn't a beginner downhill trail down from the climbing system. And a beginner and adaptive downhill trail from the Bacon area down towards the staging area. So adaptive mountain biking is wheelchair, off-road wheelchair accessible. It's a fast growing sport in BC. So again, creating more accessibility to our bike park. Another top to bottom option, which would be a blue downhill trail from the top, very top of the 5-mile trail system down to the trail we know as Tinfoil Hat. And a blue intermediate hand-built connector trail from the Bacon staging area down to what we call Moby Dick. This would be a volunteer-built trail, community-built trip. And then a major signage program as through our 2017 risk audit and signage assessment. Adaptive mountain biking has been growing popular. It's something that is moving quickly throughout BC. We have a chance to be one of the first communities to provide a full-on, purpose-built adaptive mountain bike trail system. We're asking with a toe done. No, not yet. Still got 30 seconds. I was early last year. So we're a full budget of about $165,000. We're asking for $15,000 from the Community Initiatives Program to show partnerships and support from our community through that CIPP program. So quite a large budget, and we hope a small ask to the community, especially for the smiles that we've built over the last couple of years.
One question from the committee, and it states the letter of authorization from Recreation Sites and Trails BC states that they will provide initial signage in a project. Why are you asking for funds from the CBT Community Initiatives Program?
Absolutely. So the Section 57 letter, which they're addressing, does state that Recreation Sites and Trails BC will provide some signage for the bike park. Anyone who's worked with government in the recreational industry knows it's extremely rudimentary, any signage that you would get, and takes a very, very long time to get. It does not meet the risk standards that we need to provide for our trail system. There was this system here. One of the problems within BC, if I was to go through ATV BC and I was to ask for a signage manual, I would be handed one. I could then go to a signage company, say I want 6 of these, 7 of these, 4 of these. I'd have a very strict budget, and I would be able to get that budget accordingly. Mountain biking, everything is up in the air still. Everything has to be designed, detailed, and created within each community separately. So there isn't a hard fact sheet that I could use and provide to you guys for this signage system. So for the budget we've asked for, it's creating project partnerships within the larger system that we've asked for, and it allows us to work as far as we can into the risk and signage audit assessment. Does that help?
Thank you. I don't see any questions from the public. Thank you, Curtis. Next one, Robson Valley Support Society, Valemount Community Coordinator of Volunteers.
I'm Marion Farquharson. I'm speaking on behalf of Robson Valley Support Service. Good evening, everybody. I didn't think it was my turn. Anyhow, RVS is asking for this money. They want to create a new job, that of a volunteer coordinator. People throw their hands up and say, why pay somebody to coordinate volunteers? There's no good saying that to, because the volunteers aren't coming forward, and those people who do volunteer are sometimes missed out. The ones who have been doing it for years, instead of teaching the next generation, are being worn out. Just wait, look at here. This is going to be a free service to all societies. Organizations in the community require volunteers. Why volunteers? It's to enhance the community spirit and help maintain a sense of identity. You know, when I first came here, all I could see were town after town after town along the prairies, and they had a Walmart and a Tire, what's it called, Canadian Tire, and they had a Tim Hortons, and they had an A&W, and they were all the same. So it's the events which make the places different. It's the events that you must keep. It's your sense of history. Best thing I ever saw in my life were those logging things at the Valemount days. That's going to be lost because we're not getting volunteers to come forward. The volunteer coordinator's job is to make a register of people who want to volunteer, when they want to volunteer, and what time is best for them. So that if you have a few, you get your own volunteers to start off with within your organization, and then you get 5 or 6. It's not enough. So you go to the volunteer coordinator and say, have you got another 6 people who could work on that day? Those 6 people come forward. That means I can go and watch the event because I've been on all morning. So everybody's getting a kick at the can. Everybody's getting to enjoy it, and you're keeping your event. History doesn't come back. Once you've lost it, it's lost. So please think carefully about this volunteer coordinator and support us if you can. Thank you.
So there are no questions from the committee. Let's see if there are any questions from the public. If not, I just would like to let you know we've got now 15 minutes intermission. And please buy some drinks and some cookies to support the local, I think, is it the basket? And senior girls basketball. So, wait, I'll let you say it. Hold on, just hold on. This is an important thing.
We leave tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock to go to Abbotsford for provincials. So our girls qualified this year, woohoo! And so the basketball team, they're all out there at the concession selling cookies and quiche and sausage rolls and delicious things. So please go and support them. It's all just by donation. Thank you.
15 minutes. Thank you. Thank you. No questions. Okay, I guess we're ready to go to the next group. And it is the Robson Valley Spay and Neuter Society. Spay, Neuter, Vaccinate Project. Thank you. Who's coming out for it?
Good evening. I'm Susan Prue. This is my emotional support animal. I'm with the Robson Valley Spay Neuter Society, and our mandate is to promote responsible pet ownership and provide education and financial assistance to control cat and dog populations in the Robson Valley. RVSNS was formed in 2013 to address the feral and stray cat population with funding from the BC SPCA, which we matched through our fundraising efforts. Our next step was to address the source of stray and feral cats, and that meant focusing on spay-neuter of owned cats. Eventually, we extended the outreach to owned dogs as well. Our main purpose was to remove the financial barriers preventing owners from altering their pets. RVSNS participates in fairs, festivals, holds silent auctions and raffles, and hosts fundraiser dinners to generate funds and raise awareness of the need for spay and neutering and the ways society can help. We've received great community support with cash donations and donations of food and supplies, grant funding from the regional district. Are we good? We're good. McBride Community Forest, Valemount Community Forest, and CBT's community initiative programs have made it possible for us to offer financial support to members of the community and assist animals in need. There are many reasons to spay-neuter your pet, of course: less wandering, fighting, injuries, and of course unwanted pregnancies. The average cost of a spay for cat is $300, a neuter is $250. For dogs, spay is $500 and neuter $400, depending on the age and weight of the animal. In 2017, we received just under $9,000 in grant funding. CBT was the bulk of that, and around $5,000 in donations. We raised $1,200 in fundraising. The largest portion of our expenses were vet fees that totaled over $14,000. In the past 5 years, we have assisted in the spay-neuter of 371 cats and dogs in the Robson Valley. In 2017, that included 48 in Valemount, 27 in Tijon, Dunster, McBride areas. The impact is being felt, but there is still work to be done. We are asking for $7,000 in community initiatives funding for the spay-neuter of approximately 43 animals. The exact breakdown depends on need. Thanks very much for...
That's the first
we're
round.
good?
Just got 30
Oh, that
seconds.
always gets me. The exact breakdown will depend on need, and the cost includes spay-neuter or neuter vaccination and worm mite treatment offered at discounted rates to RVSN by our local vet clinic. Thank you.
Thank you. We have one question from the committee, and the question says, why are you applying to the CBT Community Initiatives Program for funding for the same project to the 4th time in 6 years?
Yes, thanks very much. Yes, we've applied before for this funding for the same purpose, and there are several reasons. The funding is geared specifically for Valemount residents, where we have the most requests for assistance. It benefits the entire community directly and indirectly, and there are currently no funds set aside by the village to address the prevention aspect of overpopulation and homeless cats. This is our best potential source of funds in the community. There are limited sources of options for funding. We do apply for other funding, but there are restrictions for use as well. So for example, BC SPCA funding, which is only used for feral cats, stray cats, and colonies to trap, neuter, return, and requires matching funding. McBride Community Forest is earmarked for the McBride area only. Valemount Community Forest is very limited support for the initiative. Regional District supports our mandate. We receive funding through community grant and aid, but not enough to cover all our expenses. We do a fair bit of fundraising and are fortunate to have received some donations, and we will continue to fundraise. And these are used in areas that are not covered by other funding.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from the public? No?
Great.
Okay, thank you. Next one again, Regina, I think it's for Senior Citizens Association of BC.
Hi, I'm still Regina Bergen, and this is Ellen, and she's here on support of the Valemount Senior Citizens Club. As is Marie. Sorry, Marie, creeped up. It's basically the same presentation, giving you a little idea about what the senior or the Circle of Security Parenting is. The difference is why 2 applications. This is more of a grandparenting course. So it's for grandparents or parents with grown children. So for instance, there'll be different dynamics. This one will be have different questioning versus the one that was applied through by the PAC. And let's see. So basically the course is so diverse and adaptable, it can be made specific for a certain group. So that's the whole idea behind the two different applications. So that's the program, that it can change the world. Everyone in town needs to take the course. And the Circle of Security Parenting, their motto is "It's never too late." And that is so true, because it doesn't matter if you thought you were a good parent, but you want tools for your parenting your grandchildren, or maybe there's discord between yourself and your adult child. This course can give you the tools to help you with that. Or maybe you thought you were a really bad parent and you really need a lot of help. This course can help with that too. So it's a very diverse course. And in regards to the seniors, as one of the biggest risk factors of mental and physical health in seniors is being disconnected and isolated from community and family. And this course teaches people how to have connection. So it will teach people that everybody actually wants connection and how you can approach it. So please vote for the Circle of Security Parenting Program for the Valemount Senior Citizens Club, and let's help raise secure grandchildren, repair existing relationships with adult children, and have connected seniors. And as well, the course is for people without children too. So that's it. Any questions?
Thank you. Before, we've got one question, no questions from the committee, we've got one question from the public, and the question is, Circle of Security Parenting, is this a duplication in Valemount? Are there any other similar programs, or has any other organization presented something similar?
Right. RVSS is mandated to teach the Circle of Security program in Valemount twice a year, so that will be 14 sets of parents. And you know, that's just a drop in the bucket, because like I've talked to a lot of parents, and about 75% of the parents are interested in this course. It's really being talked about in mental health circles. Psychiatrists are recommending it to people. For instance, if a parent gets their child taken away by social services, the court systems are now saying you can have your child back if you take the Circle of Security program. So that's how recognized it is. And so I just think that more and more people are going to want to take it when word gets out there, because it's been known to heal parent-adult children relationships. You know, the list goes on and on. You know, I've had people come ask me, you know, I'm trying to put my grandchild to bed at night, but they are just wanting a snack, and you know they don't want a snack. You know, how do you deal with that? You know, because you're fed up to here because you've had them all day or whatever. This will give you the tools to know how to have those boundaries with children. So it is being taught by other, my understanding is CVCA will be applying to be able to teach the Circle of Security parenting course, but there's like, it's endless, the number of parents that I think are going to want to take it.
Thank you.
Sounds like a great program. I'm just curious, has the Valemount Senior Citizens Club applied or considered applying to New Horizons for Seniors? It sounds like it would be a really good fit for that program.
At this time, we have not applied, but we'll keep it on our radar.
Okay, thank you very much. There are no other questions. Thank you. Next group, Valemount Affordable Rental Society. Valemount Affordable Rental Society Startup Project. I think Riette and Corey, thank you.
Regina? Yeah, of course I had to follow Regina. Good evening. We are Riette Kenkel and Corey Marshall, and I'm the president, and Corey is the treasurer for the Valemount Affordable Rental Society, also known as VARS. We're going to start our presentation with a little bit of background. In 2016, the Valemount Learning Society created Valemount College. And then in 2017, the college was launched, and they immediately determined that there was a need for student housing. In response to this need, the Valemount Affordable Rental Society was formed and is now working on a student housing project. There's lots of rumors out there, so I'm going to address it right now. We did purchase the property formerly known as the Ramakata Motel, and we purchased it in partnership with the Valemount Learning Society, Columbia Basin Trust, and BC Housing. That's all I can share at this time. BC Housing will be issuing an official press release very soon. So it's very exciting. The Village of Valemount recently completed a housing needs assessment, and 2 out of the 3 recommendations are the main focus of VARS. One is to encourage the development of new affordable housing, and the other is to build additional community capacity to promote affordable housing. Over the past year, the Village Housing Committee confirmed that there is an affordable housing crisis in Valemount, and they anticipate that it's only going to get worse. The time to act is now, before the resort development comes in. So VARS is currently working on a student housing project, and as a result of this project, we own vacant land adjacent to the student housing. This land could be used to develop affordable housing for Valemount residents. The VARS board is a volunteer board, and although we managed to get VARS to this point, we just don't have the human resources to complete the student housing project or any future projects. It's our hope that VARS will become the local organization to oversee the management of all affordable housing needs for the community. With a piece of land already in place, we feel that this is a big piece of the puzzle to move forward. We are requesting a total of $59,280 to help us get off the ground and get some projects underway. Of these funds, $11,500 would be used to hire a contract manager to complete phase 1 of the student housing project, which would get us to the point of having 8 units available to rent for students of Valemount College. $15,000 would be used to hire a development consultant. BC Housing recommends hiring a development consultant to help prepare a plan for housing to include budgeting, liaising with BC Housing, and any pre-development costs. And lastly, we would need $32,780 to hire a manager and set up an office to run the day-to-day operations of VARS, which will eventually be sustained through rental income. Thank you.
Okay, there are no questions from the committee. However, there's one question from the public here. And the question goes like, aren't there office rental spaces in town already that are vacant? This is the question.
There are some office rental spaces in town that are vacant. And at this time, we're not looking to develop new office space. If we are approved for this funding, and if we are able to hire a employee, then our intention is to put that person in an office that is already in existence somewhere. We would be renting office space in town.
Thank you.
I just wondered what the wage was. I think you went, I was too busy timing to watch what you said.
Okay, so the amount that I quoted was for wages and office rent and office equipment, to purchase office equipment and all of that. Because it is a management position, we budgeted a wage of $30 an hour at 20 hours a week. But that would be our maximum, and that would be for someone who already brings experience working for housing. And there's a lot to know. We've found that out as a volunteer board.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, no, thank you very much, Riette and Corey.
Thank you.
Last but not the least, Canoe Valley Community Association, childcare licensing upgrades.
Hi, I'm Darcy. I'm here just representing. I'm Darcy, and I'm representing another staff member that is actually sick today.
Can't hear.
Can't hear you. Can't hear.
I'm Aubrey Scheller, a junior activity leader. We are here tonight requesting funding for room dividers and locking metal cabinets to create a safe and organized space and first aid room to meet the requirements and safety standards for CVSA to obtain school closure licensing to provide after-school programs. The photos show some of our children's activities over the past year. Having spent the last 2 years looking for an appropriate space, our recent move to Lions Hall provides us with the space needed to achieve licensing for permanent and regular children's programs during school closure times. The Active Living Kids pilot project was designed to allow the CVCA to move into full-time school closure licensed programming, as well as being necessary to build the policies and procedures required by Northern Health for child care licensing. School closure programs lower family child care planning and financial burdens, promote the social physical activity of children, and alleviates the stress on the local child care infrastructure. CVCA needs to separate our office spaces from the children's program area using freestanding movable room dividers and to lock up all dangerous and unnecessary items in cabinets. A separate first aid room for any minor injuries, incidents, and storage of our first aid kits and supplies is also needed. Having room dividers built would cost more for design, labor, and supplies than store-bought dividers, which are cheaper and lightweight enough for CVCA employees to move. After the upgrades are done, we will have a safe, organized space and first aid room for licensed children's programs. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Okay, thank you very much. We have some questions from the committee. So the first question is, what other steps are required to meet licensing standards from Northern Health?
We just need a moment here.
Okay, yeah. Perfect. Yes.
Hi, I'm Rita, and the staff that was supposed to be doing the presentation tonight is sick, and so I'm going to be answering the questions. And
Okay,
I'm sick too,
so-
but I'll do the best I can.
Other steps required, yeah, thank you.
We are in the process of building the grants to be submitted for an outdoor play area as the design and structural phases are complete. We will be accessing Northern Development Initiatives Trust and Columbia Basin Trust Child Care Capital Grant for needed structural improvements for fencing and playground. Once the fencing is up and the basic playground installed, we will be able to have the final site approval by Northern Health. A variety of small grants will deal directly with the children's programs and the community garden development, although this is not needed for our licensing. We are closely working with the Child Care Resource and Referral Consultant from Prince George and Northern Health, both of whom are helping us to obtain our after-school closure programming. And the other question was?
Okay, is the CVCA going to have adequate space after the licensing upgrades for programming at the Lions Club? Will they be needing other venues like the community hall for their programming?
Primarily, the programming will be happening out of the Lions Club. As you can see from our programming, we're not providing care. This is not a daycare place. It's a place where kids come and take part in scheduled programming, may it be cooking or gardening or horseback riding or swimming. So as in priors, you can see from the pictures, some of the stuff is off-site, but our cooking programs are on-site, our arts programs will be on-site, our permaculture gardening program and no-till gardening program and those kinds of things will all be happening on site at the Lions Hall. So there'll be some things that will continue to happen off-site as they always have, and some things will be continuing to happen at the Lions Hall as they always have, because this is programming, not childcare.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you. Finally, now last but not least, the Valemount Minor Hockey Association.
Hi, I'm Reggie McNee, President of the Valemount Minor Hockey Association. And our goal, our mission is to host a hockey skills camp for all the minor hockey players at the beginning of the season from McBride and Valemount. The camp is run by professional instructors from the company Sharper Edge Hockey. It will provide skills, team building, self-esteem, confidence, and a positive atmosphere for the children to learn.
Okay, thank you. We have one question from the committee, and it goes, why aren't you charging a nominal fee for attendees of the power skating camp?
We'll be charging a $20 fee for them all.
Okay. Are there any other comments, questions? No? Yeah.
How many people do you expect to attend?
Usually all the kids that sign up, they usually take it. And that's from McBride too.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you very much. You had a chance to hear all 12 applicants. Now please fill out the forms, or maybe you have already filled out the forms. Remember, 1 is your top priority, that's the most important one. 12 is the least or the last one of your priorities. When you are done, you can give the forms at the entry, I think. There is a basket, and just kind of leave them there upside down so nobody will be reading your evaluation and your priorities. Again, everybody, thank you very much for being out here. The applicants did an excellent job by being short, brief, and to the point. Thank you, and I'm sure we'll see you next year if CBT is still going to give us some funds.